So, since the team season promo is coming to an end, it's time to start ranking all of these blue items, and we're going to begin today with the goalkeepers. If you want to improve your ultimate team and need some coins to do so, you should check out my sponsor, IG Vault. There's a link to do so in the description, and if you use the code Kieran, you'll get yourself a nice little discount off your order. Now, if you're already subscribed to the channel, you will be well aware that over the past month or so, I have done a lot of player reviews, so I feel like I'm in a good position to rank these goalkeepers pretty fairly. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. We are doing a top 10, but we're actually going to talk about all 15 just because there isn't actually too many of them. Before we continue though, as per usual, if you could leave a like rating on the video, that'd be very much appreciated. Also in the comments, like I've already said, let me know which other positions to cover. Also let me know who are your top 5 team season goalkeepers of FIFA 21. Just quickly want to point out, if it looks like I'm crying out of my right eye, I'm not. I've currently got an issue that's ongoing with it. I'm going to get it checked out later this week. Hopefully it's nothing, and hopefully I won't look like I'm crying in future videos. Okay, so let's get straight into things. We're going to begin in the number 10 spot, and as you can see, we have a collective of goalkeepers. We've pretty much got all the 85 rated ones, and unfortunately for Tim Krul, he is in there as well. These are my joint 10th spot, just so we can get all the goalkeepers in this video. Ultimately, I think they're all certainly usable, but I just don't think, you know, they're good enough that you know, build a team around them or go out of your way to use. So they're unfortunately going to sit in that 10th spot together. Moving on then to the player at number 9, and it's actually Sporting's Adan, who I actually think is fairly solid for a goalkeeper, especially one that only costs around 17,000 coins. He's a decent height, he's got some really nice stats, and in general, he's just a good goalkeeper. He's obviously the premium option for Liga NOS sides, and he also offers a good hybrid option for teams as well, with obviously he's in that league and he's also Spanish as well, so he's very easy to get into sides, and as I say, I think he performs quite well in a game. Nice little shot stopper, and does a decent job, especially with his cost not being that high. I think he's worth a go if you haven't tried him already. I thought he was solid when I used him anyway, certainly better than the other players that I've ranked below him. Just ahead of him is actually 91 rated Donnarumma. Now this one might surprise some people, but I don't think it'll surprise everyone, especially those who watched the player review that I did on Donnarumma. Me and him we didn't get on. We really didn't, and it's a shame because on paper, everything about this Donnarumma card, you'd think that I'd like him because he's a good height, he's got some really nice stats, he's got some very useful traits, but in-game for me, Donnarumma just wasn't that good. It just wasn't clicking, whatever it was, and that was a very big shame for me. And I touched on it in the video. For me, this team of the season Donnarumma did not feel better in the record breaker item, and it also didn't feel better than the non-inform items. So yeah, it's a shame because I actually like Donnarumma in real life, but in Ultimate Team, for me, just do not get on with him whatsoever. And with that Team of the Season card, I did not particularly have a good experience when I used him. I don't think he's terrible by any means, but I do believe there are better goalkeepers available in the Serie A, and I do believe there are quite a few goalkeepers in general better than him in Ultimate Team. Just creeping ahead of Donnarumma is actually Team of the Season Andrea Blake, who I don't necessarily think is a great goalkeeper, but I think he performs better than people may expect him to. He has actually got some crazy good stats, and he stands at a very good height at 6'4", and he's a decent little shot stopper in game as well. Obviously not too easy to get into, you know, top level sides though, due to his nation and league in Ultimate Team. So unless you've got plenty of icon centre backs, you're going to find it pretty hard to get this guy into an elite side, even with the MLS Team of the Season being available. Now, one thing that obviously does hold this card back is the reaction stat, which you can't actually see unless you go into in-game stats. His reaction stat is just 71, which is pretty damn low, and that is unfortunate because he's actually got some really nice goalkeeper stats aside from that. But I actually don't think this keeper is that bad, and that's why he is not finished in, you know, the bottom rankings. So yeah, I think that's a decent position for Andrea Blake, especially considering he's a goalkeeper who's discard, and also obviously isn't anywhere near as high rated as some of the rest of the keepers. Just missing out on a top 5 spot is Keylor Navas, who straight up I'll say isn't as bad as I thought he would be. Now, when I first picked him up, I thought, oh, he's 6'1", I'm not going to get along with him that much. But for me, this Keylor Navas card was actually decent in game. Is it a goalkeeper though that I'll ever use again? Probably not, but as I say, he was much better than I expected him to be. In game, makes some really nice close range stops, and that is one of the big things that I really did like about the card. Also, I thought his distribution was much better than I thought it would be. He could really ping a ball, which is really beneficial in FIFA. But ultimately, anything near the corners with him is going into the back of the net. So yeah, that is a shame. Also, when crosses are coming in, like, he scares me because he's got the cautious with crosses trait, and ultimately doesn't claim them with confidence, and because of that, I lost confidence in him as a goalkeeper in some games. So yeah, Keylor Navas, ultimately I think this card especially is SBC food. Okay, so now we get into the top 5. Now we're taking a big step up, because these 5 I probably would and will use again at some point this year. We start with Jan Oblak, who I have to say, considering his rating, I don't think is terrific. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as his rating suggests, but still, he's a decent goalkeeper. But for me, there are just many better options in the game. There are also better goalkeeper options within his league alone. I spoke about it when I reviewed him. I don't think he's a terrible goalkeeper, but I don't think he's like, you know, a top tier outstanding one, especially considering his rating. Ultimately, he is the highest rated team season goalkeeper, and he just doesn't perform like he should, in my opinion, which is very unfortunate. But still, a very usable goalkeeper. He'll do an alright job for you, but I don't think he's anything too spectacular. But to be honest, a lot of these goalkeepers, the team season ones, haven't been too amazing. Like, the top 3 are just miles above the rest in my opinion, but the rest are still good, but not particularly too fantastic. And ultimately, that's what we've got here with Oblak, a good goalkeeper, but not a great one, and one that definitely does not perform as well as his overall rating suggests. In at number 4 is Courtois, and he's actually the only goalkeeper in this video who isn't available to buy. He actually came out as an SBC, and to be fair, he was pretty well priced. He was only 80k, and he was good value at that. I actually do like normal Courtois in this game. I think he's quite good. Obviously a very tall goalkeeper, and that's a common theme with goalkeepers that I like. And obviously the team season Courtois is just a much better version of the non-inform. And unlike some of the other team season cards, this one actually felt like an upgrade, and I just thought he was solid. I thought his handling was really nice, and his positioning in game was really good, and just in general he made some really nice saves for me, and really did feel good when coming out to claim crosses, which is something that not all goalkeepers do. But Courtois has to come to crossing trait, and regularly was coming out, just picking up the ball with relative ease, and then launching us upfield for a counter attack. So yeah, I was a fan of this card, and as I say, considering it only cost just over 80k, it was very good value. Okay, so now we get into the top 3, and as you can see, I am going for Team of the Season Manuel Neuer, who, straight up I'll say, I am fully aware people are very split on. I've seen half the community absolutely hate him, half the community really like him, and I'm in that latter category. I like him quite a bit. I've always got on with Neuer items in Ultimate Team. He just always makes good saves for me, and he's obviously one of the best distributors for a goalkeeper in the game as well, and that's something I really do like in a goalkeeper. For me, Team of the Season Neuer for most part was very solid. The only issue I actually had with the card was you may as well just get the Team of the Year version, just because at the time it was only a little bit more expensive. So yeah, Team of the Season Neuer, still a very good goalkeeper option. As I say, he's very solid, good handling, good reflexes, good everything to be honest, and really good distribution for a goalkeeper. I'm also big on the fact that he's a tall goalkeeper, and he comes and deals with crosses really nicely, and he's also pretty quick off his line too. So in general, Neuer, just a solid goalkeeper, and yeah, as I say, makes my top 3 with relative ease to be honest. Like, the whole top 3 are just very much above everyone else in this ranking video. Okay, so now in at number 2, just missing out on that top spot, is Team of the Season Edison, another goalkeeper who I would definitely use again in this year's Ultimate Team. I just think he's really solid to be honest, and not only is he a very good shot stopper, his distribution is top level. Probably the best distributor out of all the goalkeepers in the game, and that will come as no surprise, so he's got 99 kicking. But yeah, for me, Edison was really nice. Once again, a really good shot stopper, and just good. He makes saves that some goalkeepers literally cannot, and that's just one of the reasons that I really liked about him. He's also really quick off his line, especially compared to some of the other goalkeepers as well, and deals with them breaks very nicely. So all in all, I was really big on this Edison card, and I don't think he's particularly expensive either. I don't think any of the goalkeepers are that expensive, to be honest. Most of their prices are getting held up by the fact that they're high rated. So yeah, Edison, if you run with a Premier League side, he's definitely a goalkeeper to consider. However, in at number 1 is another Premier League goalkeeper, and it's actually the 89 rated Areola, who over the past few weeks for me has been absolutely brilliant. I have begun to really like this card, like a lot more than when I initially reviewed him. He has made some top saves for me as of late, and he's another goalkeeper who is obviously really tall, so he's very commanding, and he's one of them who just deals with crosses really nicely and also makes some really good reflex saves. Now his reaction stat isn't the best at just 79, but for me he makes plenty of reaction stops, and that is very pleasing, and you can see that in the footage in the background. Areola is just a solid goalkeeper, and obviously he's very easy to get into high level teams. Links to all the Premier League players and all the French players in the game, and especially those French players, because as we all know, there are just so many top level French centre backs in the game. So Areola is just so easy to get into teams, and he's also a top level goalkeeper, and he's currently my weekend league goalkeeper, so that just backs up my theory that he is my go-to goalkeeper option right now. So guys, that's that. Those are my top 10 team of the season goalkeepers of FIFA 21 Ultimate Team. Let me know your thoughts on my ranking in the comment section down below. Also let me know who would make your top 5, which players do you agree and disagree with out of my rankings, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So in the comments, like I've already said, let me know your rankings, but also let me know which position I should cover next, and hopefully when I next do one of these videos, my eye won't be continuously watering when I'm recording. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.